What's up, internet world, and welcome back to the channel. Today I bring you the 2020 Jeep Cherokee. So with COVID changing the context on how we travel, we can't go through borders, we can't fly, so most people are trying stuff at home. So I wanted to get a brand that was more outdoorsy, and Jeep was on my mind. So this is the 2020 Jeep Cherokee that was launched in 2014 with this new sort of look design. But the 2014, in my opinion, looked like a complete alien. Now in 2019, they launched this version, which is the facelifted version, and in my opinion, it's a lot better looking. It's more handsome and more grown up. Not a big fan of the 7-slot grille we have here, but I am a fan of this aluminum hood. Now for the crazy part. I'm gonna read you this list and you guys are gonna be thinking that I'm reading a Porsche option list because this car comes in 9 different variants. Yes, 9. I said 9, but that's 9 in Canada and 10 in the US. Here we go. All right, I had to get my notes out for this one. Americans, starting price, 26 grand. Latitude, Latitude Plus, Upland, Altitude, that should be Attitude. Latitude Luxury, Limited, North Edition, Trailhawk, High Altitude, and Trailhawk Elite. 10 versions. Canadians, you're next. Sport, starting at 31. North, Altitude, Upland, Trailhawk, Limited, Trailhawk Elite, High Altitude, and Overland. So the Americans go to the Trailhawk Elite at 38, and the Canadians go to the Overland at 55. You can get them in 3 different engine variants: a 2.4 liter, 180 horsepower, 170 foot-pounds of torque, a 2 liter turbo, which this version has. This is the high altitude version, 2 liter turbo, 270 horse and 295 foot-pounds of torque, or the V6, the 3.2 that produces 271 horsepower and 239 foot-pounds of torque. I would pick the V6 if I was towing 4,500 pounds. If I wanted something around the city, I'd most likely buy the 2 liter. In all 3 engine variants, you get a 9-speed transmission. So guys, I really need your comments on what you guys think about the front of this vehicle. From the front, again, I'm not a huge fan of these 7 inlets, but I do like the fact they have LED headlights on the front. And this area, looking down on it, actually looks like the Durango, which I like a lot. And I really do like the front of a Grand Jeep Cherokee, but this thing, not so much. So this high altitude has something called the customer preferred package. And what that essentially means is that people like black trim. So this car pretty much has all the black trim that you'd expect in a car with black trim. Pieces from the Grand Jeep Cherokee I like: the square wheel arches. So my usual quick luxury check: carpeted inside, negative it's plastic. Well, this is a Jeep, so that should be expected, I think. Like most SUVs on the market, the back 2 windows are tinted. And like an Audi Q3 or a Tiguan, the front door locks are the only ones that you can lock and unlock. The back ones do not work. All right, so moving to the back of the car here, let's talk about the antenna. The antenna should keep up with 2020 standards, and we should get rid of this 1995 plastic antenna. Let's talk about kick trunk. Let's give it a kick, pull back. There we go. She opens up, and it goes to a certain height. However, the button is not on the back. It is actually on the side here. So if I hit this, I wait for a second, and I stop it. Oh, how do you set the height? $1 million question. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? No idea. Comment below, let me know. I've yet to figure out how to set the height on this. There's a button here, and if I do press it to hold the height to stop it, it doesn't do anything. It just goes up slowly, and if I let go, then it makes the noise. So if I hold it down, it suddenly forgets what it's doing, and it's coming down, and I press the button right here, and it kind of just stops and works its way back upward. But when I let go of the button, she wakes up again. All right, it has a rear tonneau cover that pulls in, pulls out. It's got a nice big subwoofer there. It's got a voltage output, lots of tie downs. Haven't seen this in a long time. This panel pulls up and flaps over the seat, so if you are sliding a piece through, it doesn't get nicked on the 2 edges. So it's kind of interesting. It's got a really nice thick carpet here, actually a really, really thick carpet. If I was blindfolded and I touched this and then I touch the back of this tonneau cover, I would tell you that I'm in two different products. Underneath there is a full-size spare, and it does have two decent-sized storage compartments that you can pull out. So I'm in the back of a Cherokee now, and these seats are comfortable. They're soft, yet fairly firm. The leather is soft to touch, but the cool part about it is this seat actually slides all the way forward. So most cars go till about here, but this one goes all the way back that it actually hits the center console, so it slides all the way back. All the way back, back and forward. And also these seats do recline, so if I pull this little handle here, 1, 2, 3 clicks. I would like to go a little bit more, but hey, can't be picky. Another piece I like the fact this huge sunroof does actually come all the way back. It's a dual sunroof, and it comes all the way back here. So with this customer preferred package, you get a blacked out headliner, so it doesn't feel as claustrophobic because I do have a sunroof all the way right to here. Now you do lose some height because I'm only 5'9" and I'm almost hitting, so anybody taller than me would actually hit this. And it does have a USB, a USB-C, and an actual full voltage plug at 110. In terms of cup holders, you got two of them here, fairly easy to put up and down. And it does have Bluetooth mics in the back, one on this side and one on that side. So I'm in the driver's seat now, and this seat is very comfortable. It's got good support. The only concern I have is the headrest. I wish more car manufacturers would put headrests that slide backwards and forwards. And in this specific case, it arches this way, so give me the adjustable option to move it back and forth. As far as the steering wheel goes, this to me is from Fiat. It's very round, very uniform. There's no divots in it. It's just very straightforward, clean, bigger, round steering wheel. I do like the fact it says since 1941, which makes me feel like I have some history behind it. It's got two memory seats, and I like that it has automatic windows on both sides for the driver and the passenger, which you would believe actually doesn't come standard in most product. Now I know I'm a bit of a harsh critic when it comes to this car, and that is because this cluster is so dated. You refresh the car in 2019, give me a cleaner cluster. The fact that this has like 1995 analog gauges is crazy. As far as controls go, it's got pretty much everything you need in front of you. It's got your cruise control, your adaptive cruise control. It's got your full left, right. I like that they used all the buttons on the steering wheel and not left blank buttons. And it's got your home link. Another improvement they can do is to change these bulbs to LEDs. As I touch this, it is burning hot. As far as HVAC controls go, they're super easy. Just turn, very easy to use. Shifting, very basic looking shifter, but it's easy to use. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then a manual mode. It's a no-brainer. As far as the interior finish goes, they have this piano black all through the center here. However, they do have piano black on the sides, but the piano black's on the inside, so you can't really see it. It should really be on the outside. On the outside, all I see is silver trim, but they should put piano black on the outside and silver trim on the inside, just like they did on this. Now the meat and potatoes here is really this Uconnect system. Uconnect is Jeep's version of infotainment, and this thing's got everything. This is an 8.4-inch screen. It's clean, it's got all the toys you need, but not only that, you can actually register with Uconnect, and that'll tell you cool stuff like the health monitoring system of your car. And from a business perspective, this is genius, because think about it. If they have all their clients connected to Uconnect and they understand what Jim has to do an oil change in 3 days, Mary has to do a brake job in 2 weeks, they have all this data, so they can really funnel all their clients into a perfect system and an ongoing system. And from a customer's perspective, you kind of know where your car's at. You don't know if something pops up on the dash, a check engine light comes out, they actually know what is wrong with the car before you do. Kind of cool. Not only that, you can use Amazon Alexa and you can remote start your car. You can set the temperature in the car ahead of time. You can set navigation addresses in your car ahead of time through Amazon Alexa. Man, this is a connected world. Now, when you look at this dash, you wouldn't think so, but the Uconnect is where it's at. One of the only annoyances with this Uconnect is actually putting your heated seats and ventilated seats on. There's actually no physical button on the dash itself. You actually have to go through the Uconnect, press climate, press control, and there you have it. You can set your heated seat, your ventilated seats on both driver and passenger, and your heated steering wheel. There is no other way to actually set these on until you press the button on the Uconnect. So if you have a dead monitor, you've got no heated seats, no vented seats, and no heated steering wheel. So check out the settings here on the Uconnect. look at all the details you can adjust. You can adjust tilt side mirrors in reverse, rain sensing auto wipers. But not only that, you can have sound horn with lock off, first press, second press. First press of key fob unlocks driver door, all doors. Passive entry, personal settings linked to key fob. There's a lot of detail here that you can press and all set up with this Uconnect system. Now here's a bit of a disappointment, the quality of the backup camera. This backup camera quality is very poor. Not to mention when I turn the steering wheel, it does absolutely nothing. It doesn't turn any of the lines to show me where I'm going into. I've placed a TV there that's about 6 feet away from the back of the tailgate. Can you tell me what kind of TV that is? Comment below. How many feet away do I have to be to read the box? Four by four. Let's talk about it. So all Jeep product has the ability to disconnect the rear axle except when it's cold. Under cold temperatures, the axle is actually connected, although it's heavily biased to the front. Now what does that get you? That saves fuel. Except don't buy the 2.4 liter. All right guys, so I'm in the Jeep Cherokee High Altitude 4x4 edition. So we're gonna take this puppy for a drive here and see how it goes. So I'm just getting myself set up. Seats all adjusted. Lumbar is good. Sticks in and out fairly well. Goes up and down, which is nice. One quick thing I just noticed. I was actually been in the car for about 30 seconds now, and the temperature gauge, as far as the engine being warm, just rifled up really fast. I was kind of going through the settings here to see what setting I liked, but it rifled through the temperature. It's been 30 seconds and I'm almost at normal operating temperature, which I haven't seen ever. I've seen it like back in the day with like really small Civic engines. They warm up really fast, but everything today takes a little bit of time. But this heats up really fast. I'm not sure what that brings to you. Probably just heat in the winter. So maybe that makes sense, high altitude. So far on the inside, the only thing I really don't like are these analog gauges, which I've talked about already. Got storage here, storage controls here. So this engine is very peppy. This thing makes 290 horsepower. That's a ton of horsepower considering that cars that are supposed to be bigger than this have less horsepower. The majority of them have in the 260s, 270s, including the Audi Q5. So at 290 horsepower, this is a lot of zip considering the cars. It's funny, I can hear when I pin it, I can hear the wastegate in the back go psss. That's funny. So I really try to find out if this is a driver's car, and steering is very, I wouldn't say direct. I mean, you can probably see by the camera angle here of me turning left and right on how this handles on a straightaway, but the throttle response on the foot pedal is very light, and it's got a lot of spool, so it must have a really small turbo because this does pull up very quickly. So I hear the wind noise behind me, or the wastegate noise, the air blowing like this, like noise behind me, more than I hear the engine in front of me, which gives me an indication of when I need to be shifting if I was in manual mode. So I'm finding all these really small, neat storage compartment pieces that are here. They are pretty plasticky, but the fact they have them is pretty neat. There's some really cool water bottle holders in here. It's like a dual water bottle holder, which I haven't seen in a long time. Usually they only have singles, so you can put 2, 4, 6 bottles in the front, which is pretty awesome. I do have a Dodge Ram as a truck, and it has the same sort of Bluetooth connectivity. It's got 2 over here, Bluetooth microphones, my apologies, and it's got 2 over here, one, and then 2 on this side. So if you're not a loud talker, you're sitting further backward like me, so I'm sitting fairly forward. People that are taller than me would sit backwards, and this Bluetooth microphones have picked that up, which is pretty nice, as opposed to a lot of other cars just have a 2 central and they're right in the middle here. So I like that the fact they're right here, so when I'm talking, it can hear me fairly well. So on other domestic products I've driven, I've noticed that some of the molding on the outside isn't perfectly level. But on this one, it is actually level. It's pretty straight, and that's usually a quality control thing, or making sure the build processes are tight. And this one's pretty streamlined. So I noticed a lot of hate about the plastic and some of the cheap dials and some of the cheap pieces, but they actually tightened up on that very small part that you notice on the exterior trim that you'd see. All right, so another quick test. I'm at a stoplight, a hard right, foot to the ground. Let's see if we break traction here. No, holds pretty well. That is a pretty good four-wheel drive system. This thing hauls, guys. This thing does haul. I mean, 290 horsepower and something so light will haul. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So if I was just getting in the car and I had no idea what kind of car I'm in, besides the noise throwing me off, this thing does pull very well. I mean, this is definitely faster than an Audi Q3, hands down. And it's the same money. And it's pretty much the same size. Maybe it's a hair bigger, but it's very close. Now, I know it's not an Audi, and people are gonna say, well, it's not a luxury car. But a Q3 is not really a luxury car per se. It does give you those frills. I would say that a Q5 is a luxury car and up. I wouldn't say a Q3 is a luxury car and up. Okay. It's got pretty good turning radius. I wouldn't say it's the best turning radius, but it's pretty good. So let's try and parallel park by using this automatic parking button. So I'm right next to a vehicle now. I've got this on. And I'm gonna put this in reverse here. And, oh, it says shift to drive to use active park sense. So maybe I should press it before I approach this car to my right. It's Toyota Sienna. So let me put this in drive, shift to drive, so let it detect a vehicle here. And let's see, it's searching, searching, searching. Okay, I've passed it. So maybe I need to try that again, so let's do that again. One thing I do notice also, when you put the car in reverse, both of these mirrors fold down. German cars, only that one folds down if you change the mirror sequence on the, so if I put the right mirror, if I click on the right mirror, it'll fold down when I put it in reverse. This one doesn't allow me to do that, it just automatically goes down. I'm not sure on how to change that, but it does scroll down. No matter what I tried, I press the left button, it still stays down. I press the right button, it still stays down. Cannot get it to go up. Try all kinds of buttons, but I'm sure if I hit the Uconnect, I'm sure there'll be something in there, but I have not. But it's interesting that German cars only pick a side. They don't go both sides like this one does. All right, so let's get this shift to drive to get the park sense to go. So I'm trying to parallel park here on my right side, and let's see if it notices this car next to me now. I'm giving it ample room. Oh, here we go. Keep moving forward. Stop. All right, it's gonna do something now. Let's go, move backward. Here we go, spin that wheel. All right. Pretty good. Ooh, this is a pretty good, oh, it's real tight in the front, but pretty good. Ooh. Stop, tells me right there. Shift to drive. All right, my wheels go up, and there we go, you've parked. Congratulations, Jeep. You have parked this thing successfully.